This is the Sixth Sense bait box from Dick's Sporting Goods. Specifically, this one is box number 7. So here's a price breakdown and what I think of the box. If you don't want to watch all the way to the end, what I'll go ahead and tell you up front is the box itself, it does meet the value claim on the label. I was able to add up all the lures inside this box and get a total of $66 worth of value. And to get that value, what I did is I use Google, use web browsers, and I looked at all of the tackle sites and Bass Pro Shop, Dick's Sporting Goods Academy, Tackle Warehouse, pretty much anywhere that sells tackle regularly. And I compared the prices using those numbers. So for instance, one of the baits in here was $8 to $10 wherever I could source it. So I just used the $7.99, $8 price is what I used for my calculation to get to 66 bucks. Let's rip the box open and see what we have here. I've already sliced this. I did record a short with this already, so if you've seen it, I have actually opened this already, but all the baits and everything in here is still the same as what's in that video. Now, the first thing in this box was the Panorama. This is a 6.5 inch bait, and this bait right here, I could find it for $8 to $10. The lowest price, I think it was Bass Pro Shop, was $7.99 right now. It is Christmas time, so it may be lower than what it actually might be a little bit later in the year, but this right here is a glide bait, soft plastic, a very good shad profile looking bait. So that's $8 to $10. Next up, we have a hair jig. This is the Flock hair jig. Now, this is a really good looking hair jig in my opinion, just looking at it. It's tied, looks good. It's got that fluorescent or reflective like strip in there, and for me, I like hair jigs because they're good for striper, they're good for bass, so I like this lure in the box. I think it's a very universal lure. We don't have walleye or mini walleye in Georgia, but a lot of walleye fishermen I know like buckeyes, not buckeyes, bucktail jigs, hair jigs as well. Next up, we have the Finesse F4 crankbait. Now, this crankbait right here is a flat crankbait, which should mean it has less wobble in the water. This I found for 10 bucks, and that hair jig I also found for $10. Now, the next thing we get into is a couple different hook options here. We have a Stout EWG hook right here. Stout EWG 4/0 hook, some drop shot hooks, and next we just have some 4/0 flipping hooks. So these 3 hook packs altogether about 12 bucks. I could find the Stout hook, I think, for 4. I could find the drop shot hooks for 3, that's 7. Oh, sorry, that was the flipping hooks. The flipping hooks I found for 5. The drop shot hooks for 3, so 5, 3, that's 8. 8 and 4 is 12. 12 bucks for the hooks. Now, as we keep going down the list, obviously, wow, the sticker, priceless. You know, it's just something in there if you want it. Next up, we have a black and blue finesse jig. This is a 7/16 ounce finesse jig. 7/16 ounce, pretty similar to a 3/8. It's almost half an ounce. So a pretty good weighted finesse jig, so you don't have to wait forever for it to get to the bottom. And black and blue is pretty good color. I think it works about anywhere, but usually for me, I like dirtier, cloudier days with black and blue. That should be dirtier water, black and blue. Next up, we have a popper, Splashback 70. That jig right there that I threw down, $5. Right here, Splashback 70. This is a $10 popper that I was able to find on, I think Bass Pro Shop had the lowest price, but there were a couple that were $12. So depending on the size, depending on the color, this could be 10 or it could be more. Good looking popper here. Top water. It's always got to have a top water tied on, no matter what time of the year. And here is something I'm interested in really trying, this Axle swim jig. So this swim jig actually has a screw lock for your bait, and it also has a swinging hook. So I'm guessing it's going to be kind of like a vibrating jig, or it's going to have more action than your typical swim jig, which I think is pretty cool. This I was able to find for $7. And last but not least, well, it is last, we have the Sixth Sense Ned Fry. This is essentially, aside from the Panorama, this is the only soft bait that was in here. That Panorama is a soft glide bait, and then these are kind of like a ridged or like a ribbed Senko. So they're called the Ned Fry. Obviously you could put this on a Ned hook. What I do like though is I'm someone that likes to drop shot. I like to throw a wacky shot, which is basically a wacky rigged drop shot, and I also like to throw a wacky rig. Those drop shot hooks that were in there, I can use those hooks for a couple of those rigs. I can also use those EWG stout hooks. I can use those as well on this right here on a Texas rig, weightless Texas rig. And I could put this on a flipping hook, but I probably won't. I like to put crawls on flipping hooks, but that's one thing I do like. Some of the hooks in there could definitely be used with this bait. Overall, I really like this color too. It's kind of a blue flake, green pumpkin. And let's see if it says what they call it on here. Nirvana is what they call it. So one of my favorite colors, period, when it comes to stick baits and soft plastics is green pumpkin blue or green pumpkin blue flake, blue green pumpkin. I like that combo. There's a net bait T-Mac that I like to use on drop shots, kind of a stick, or not a stick bait, but it's like a straight tail worm. I like to use that. And I also like the Googan baits, Lunker Log in green pumpkin blue. I'm not the biggest Googan fan, but I will say that green pumpkin blue Lunker Log, I don't know what it is about it. I get bit on it. So when I run out, I buy more. That's just one of the things I found. I think I got it in a mystery tackle box. I kept getting them. Now, these $4 to $5. So what I was able to find, and somewhere throughout this video, I'll have a screenshot from the short I made that has the pricing broke down per item. $66 in value is what I was able to find through research on these items. So the claim on the box is $65, $66 of value, and I made sure to use competitor prices. And the reason I say that is there's some other tackle box like options like this out there, and what I find is, you know, I'm not going to call out specifics, but they will put an MSRP card or something in the box, and that MSRP card is a load. That MSRP card is usually for full-size packs of baits, and I feel like you get half packs. So if you feel like you're getting tackle box or mystery type boxes, loot crates, whatever you want to call them for fishing tackle, and you feel like the MSRP is weird, this box feels right. It does feel right. It feels like there's good baits. I've used a bunch of 6th Sense stuff in the past. All of it's pretty good. I like their umbrella rig. I was kind of wondering if I'd get another umbrella rig in that box, and I'll say a little bit more to why in a second. But anyway, box number 7, I think it's a good box, but better than MTB. If I had to say per money spent, like if I was going to spend $50 on MTB or spend $50 on this, I think this was a better value. And the baits are full-size packs. They're full-size baits, full-size packs. Nothing looks downsized. The hook packs are 5-pack hooks, not 2-pack hooks, not 3-pack hooks. And when I'm talking about the MTB, I have subscribed to them for like 2 years before. I like the product. I like the idea, but I got a lot of duplicates and I got a lot of value I got a lot of misrepresented value. Or at least that's how it really felt. Like if I got something like a Yum Dinger, 4 Yum Dingers, and it said $4 on there, well, I can go buy like a whole 8 or 10 pack from Walmart for $3.40. That's what I try to do with this video. Every price in here. Basically, when I Googled each of these products, I used whatever the lowest price was from the suggested retailer, be it Walmart, Bass Pro, Academy, Dick's, Tackle Warehouse. Just to reiterate, that's where my prices are coming from at the time of this video. Now, I really like this box. It's winter where I am right now. I live in Georgia. It's really cold front type weather. And Georgia's usually not a very cold place, but I fish Lake Lanier mostly, and we have water and weather that's, currently 20 degrees sometimes in the morning, 30, 40 degrees in the afternoon. It's windy, it's a cold front. A lot of this box 7, is very good for the winter. And the reason I say very good for the winter is a lot of these lures in here, I am throwing something from a competitor right now that I didn't have until I bought this box. I'm throwing flat-sided crankbaits right now and having success. I'm throwing swim baits deep and having success. I'm throwing Ned rigs. I'm throwing wacky shots, drop shots, things that get down to the bottom, Carolina rigs, and a lot of the stuff in this box. Like this Ned Fry right here, I can Carolina rig this and have it really deep on the bottom with a heavy weight. I can Texas rig it and drag it. I can weightless rig it. I can wacky rig it, wacky shot it, drop shot it. I can do a lot of stuff with these baits in colder weather, and I like that. Hair jigs to me, bucktail jigs, whatever you want to call them, they're extremely good in the cold weather. Usually I like to fish those, cast them out, let them sink down to the bottom and do a pop with my rod, let it fall, and just continue that retrieve back to the boat, kayak, the bank, wherever I'm at. And usually that's a pretty good recipe for striper, spotted bass, largemouth bass. Like I said, I have some friends that go up north and fish for walleye. We have walleye in Lake Lanier, but I've never caught one. So I know they're there, just never caught one, but I know people catch walleye, and I think pike too as well on that lure. So very versatile lure, even one that you could use for saltwater. You know, striped bass, saltwater. And also, I think for the next video, I'm either going to do a Pro MTB box, or I'm going to do a Rapala bait box that they also have at Dick's Sporting Goods. So if you watch the video and you like the content, you like the video, let me know which one you think I should get, because I'm going to do either one. I just haven't made my mind up on which one's next. Now, sorry to drag this out for a while. I just want to do a good thorough breakdown of the price and what is in this box and what I think it's good for. Because usually with these boxes, the number, you know, number 7 for me is number 7 for someone else. And while I do love the mystery, one of the things I hate about doing these loot boxes and buying them from a retail store is sometimes you don't know what's in there when you're spending your hard-earned money. And also, sometimes you go to a store and you can't tell if the box has been opened or not, and you get home and something's missing. Everything in this box is exactly as it was. I slit the plastic, that was it. Nothing was put in extra, nothing was taken out. So if you watch this video and there's something missing in there, there's a chance that something's not right. If you have box number 07. So, but all in all, I can't complain about the box.